Hello and welcome back to Roads of Dark Souls 2, Scholar of the First Sin. Quite the long name, isn't it? So, last time we had a look at Things Betwixt, and today we are going to have a look at Majula, and probably also, I think only the first part of the Forest of Giants, I think it's called. The first area we are going to, or we should explore, I should say. But let's start with Majula, because Majula is our hub area. It is not a pocket dimension or something else, like in what game, for example, like in Elden Ring we have a pocket dimension. In Dark Souls 3 we have an area that is still in the same world, but you teleport away from it. And in Dark Souls 1 we also had something like this here. So Majula. Most iconic thing about Majula, I think the theme. I think if you would ask a Dark Souls veteran, name me your 5 favorite themes, this is one of them. Or at least one of the most iconic ones. Maybe you don't like it, it's up to you, but I really like the theme. And I think this is something what this game does pretty good. And also Dark Souls 1, but we are talking about Dark Souls 2 right now, it's the music. Because when I compare it now to my first Roads of series, like Roads of Elden Ring, or the design of Elden Ring, one thing that I constantly disliked about the game was the overworld music. I constantly turned it off, and then most of the time when there is a boss fight, on my own playthrough, or in my own playthrough at least, I forgot about turning the music on. And this is something good about Majula, or about Dark Souls 2 in general, also Dark Souls 1, as I said, is that there is usually no music playing. So let's see when does the theme stop? It already stopped. And quite natural. So the music didn't just instantly turn off, it faded out of existence. Was that even true? Yeah. Somewhere here is the border. I can hear it slightly right now. So over here we have the volume knob. It's quite fun. But yeah, Majula. Let's see what we have here. Because right now we don't have a lot. We have a few NPCs that we can talk to. And we have a bonfire. And then multiple ways to go. But let's start with the NPCs. Let's start with arguably the most important one. Or maybe the second most important one. The Emerald Herald. Let's talk to her.
Are you the next monarch? Or merely a pawn of fate? Bearer of the curse, I will remain by your side till this frail hope shatters. Take this with you. May it ease your journey.
So I'm wondering, she has an Estus flask for us.
Go on and see the king.
Oh.
He who made Drangleic what it once was. He who peered at the essence of the soul. King Vendrick.
Okay, now I can talk. I didn't click that message away with the Estus flask, it happened automatically. So, first things first, we got our Estus flask, which is nice. But what I'm wondering is, we're certainly not the first one she's tending to. We are not the first hollow, and if it turns out we are going hollow and we do not succeed in her quest, then there will be another hollow. So where is she storing all these Estus flasks? I'm wondering. Is she making them? Or is she taking them away from the failed hollows? Quite an interesting thought, but it's video game logic. She has an infinite number. But yeah, her first thing, she tells us, here you go, Estus flask for you, and then go find the king. That is our goal. We have to find the king. First quest achieved.
Bearer of the curse, seek misery. For misery will lead you to greater, stronger souls. You will never meet the king with a soul so frail and pallid.
About that.
Seek those whose names are unutterable. The four endowed with immense souls. Their souls will serve as beacons. Once you have found them, return here to me, so that hope will not fade away. Is that a shard you found? Here, let me see it, so that I may help you. To see light, to see hope, however faint it might be.
Yeah, I guess more healing is nice, but let's just do it. Where did I pick up this Estus flask shard? It was something in Things Betwixt, right? Was it past the petrified statue? Can't really remember anymore. But I got one. So let's give it to her. I don't know how this even works. And upgrading is an interesting thought, because you can upgrade your Estus flask in two different ways. You can increase the uses, and you can increase the power of the healing. And with the Estus flask shards, we are merely increasing the use cases. So now we should be able to use 2 of them. Let's have a look. And indeed, there are 2 now. Quite interesting what she said about the souls, because yes, while the level is very low, I have a lot of souls right now that I want to spend.
Seek souls. Seek the king, lest this land...
And of course, everyone who played this game knows of this. Ah, that was too quick, sorry.
Bearer seek the lest this land
wasn't perfect. Bearer seek lest. Let's level up a little bit. I don't know how much level I can do with this, but I'm just doing this so I can use certain things here. Maybe I'm just putting them all even, because I think this is a good opportunity to talk about certain build types you can do in this game, because having every stat at the same number can actually be a positive thing. Because there is a certain upgrade path that scales with your lowest stat. And what that means is, if you want to skill or want to allot your points into the most efficient way possible, then you want to have everything at the same number. I'm just going with this. This is more than enough with the gear that I want to use here, just for this playthrough, because I've already Got myself the gear that I want to use, my favorite gear in the game. And it's this set. Feels very unique to the other sets that you have in all the other Souls games, and this is how you will see this character all the time now. It's just my favorite one. So Emerald Herald is here to level up, so you don't want to kill her, not even accidentally, otherwise you're no longer being able to level up, which is bad. And you're not able to upgrade your Estus flasks, and I should put them in here. Even though I'm probably not going to use them. Then at this stone, this obelisk over here, we have another NPC and a interesting mechanic. We have a death counter, and if I go online, currently it's only counting my own deaths in this game with this character. But when you go online, then you see, as it says, deaths worldwide. Which is I like the feature. It's not very immersive though. And it's, again, the whole thing with the whole game is so difficult and stuff like this. Like, I mean, they missed the mark with that, with the marketing, because Souls games shouldn't be about difficulty. But they advertised it as a difficult game, and that's what they want to do, I guess. Then over here, on the other side, we have different text that we currently can't read, and I don't know anymore what it was depicting once. I think, by the way, I don't know anymore, but I think this was either when they released a DLC, there was some flavor text over there, or, and I think it's more likely that it's the DLC stuff, but it also could have been the Majula chest event, where in this building over there, the biggest building that we have here, in the cellar is a chest. And during a certain time period, they put an item, or put different items in that chest. These items were regular weapons. I think there were cestus, a specific katana, I think a club as well, and a longsword. There might be another weapon, I can't really remember. But they had different colors. For example, a longsword had a turquoise blade similar to a moonlight greatsword, and the club, I think the club was bloody, like the big ass club was bloody, so were the cestus, maybe? And the katana was, instead of having a blackish hilt, had a white hilt. But other than that, it was just the optic. But I think this referred once to the DLCs, not the chest mechanic thing. But here we have another NPC, which is the Crestfallen Knight. Let's have a talk.
You're undead, aren't you?
Yes.
You have that distinct scent, the smell of irreversible fate.
So he says I'm stinking.
This is Majula. It is a kind of settlement. A place where life is almost normal. And in Drang Lake these days, there are very few places like that. I am Solden. And like you, I lost everything. And now I'm here. You probably heard that it was possible to break the curse here. Well, that's not true at all. There's nothing here for you, me, or anybody. Do you know much about souls? Even I'm not certain, but I'm told that the soul is the essence of life itself. Anything living, sentient or no, supposedly has one. What we call the curse is traceable to the soul. Do you see what that means? To be alive, to walk this earth. That's the real curse, right there.
That is one way to view it.
We'll never die. And that's quite a predicament, really.
I wouldn't say that life itself is the curse. I would say that the inability to die is the curse. A bit nihilistic.
There are 4 beings in this land with giant souls.
So I've heard.
And wherever you go from here, you'll sooner or later come up against them. Each has a powerful soul and a terrible curse. If that frightens you, then you ought to just give up right now. Like I have. Do you ever cry out for help?
No, I'm playing offline.
The journey of an undead is long and treacherous. You'll face invaders from other worlds at every turn.
No, I won't.
If you need help, why not proclaim faith in the Blue Sentinels? When you face danger, the Blue Sentinels will come to your aid. Protection is yours, if you wish. You need only accept their kind embrace.
Sure, let's do it. Join the way of Blue Covenant. Not much of a covenant, but sure. And we get the Blue Seal. Enter Covenant. Okay, interesting.
That is a wise decision. People are weak, but the Blue Sentinels watch over us in their benevolence. Let the Sentinels cradle you in their embrace. Do you feel lonely here? It suits me just fine, as I've nothing left anyway. It will grow on you, this place. Give it some time.
Let's learn a gesture. Welcome gesture. Yeah, let's talk about him first.
Find peace on your journey.
Crestfallen Knight. There's always a Crestfallen Knight. There was one in... what's his name? Demon Souls. There was one in Dark Souls 1. In Dark Souls 2 there's one. Is there one in Dark Souls? Of course, yes, there is one in Dark Souls 3, of course. How could I miss that? Is there one in Elden Ring, though? Not really. Is there? Ah. Is there one in Bloodborne? No? Not really. So only in the Souls series, but also Demon Souls. What I'm just noticing about him is, if I remember correctly, he's not wearing a full armor set, or at least his armor pieces are not from one armor set. Of course he's wearing no helmet, that is sure, but his armor and his gloves are part of one set. But then the leggings, if I remember right, they are part of the Wanderer set. And what I'm also noticing is that my camera's drifting, which is also interesting. It's slightly drifting too. Okay, who cares? But yeah, something interesting about his armor set. I didn't notice that until now, I think. But yeah, Crestfallen Dude gives us a very interesting covenant, because I was kind of disappointed that there was no such thing as covenants in Elden Ring. Because in theory they're a very good idea, right? Like in this game you have which covenant is this now? Let's see, what is it called? Is it player Way of the Blue, right? We have the Way of the Blue, which are... Is it even doing something? I'm wondering, is this covenant doing something? Or is this covenant only doing something in combination with this ring? Because what is supposed to happen is when you're being invaded and you're in this covenant and or wearing this ring, I'm not so sure about this anymore, but then you're getting help from another covenant, which is like the fun police, whatever. But these kinds of interactions, like the covenants go more deeper, or go a bit deeper here in this game, but the basics are that this one is the covenant way of getting help, and there's a covenant that offers help. Technically two covenants, but one for PvP, the other one more for PvE. Then there's the invasion covenant, and so on. The covenants in this game are quite fun. Maybe not so unique, but quite fun. Should I talk to him a bit more? Let's see what he has to offer.
Do you see the way beyond the bonfire? That will take you to the forest of the giants. There was once a great fort, but little of it remains. You may just find something there that will be of use on your journey. But don't venture too far inside, or you might not come back.
I wonder what that means. Maybe... It's the first area.
Hade's Tower of Flame lies beyond the far gate. In the cathedral, the Apostles of Blue gather. But the road leading there is perilous. The gate is rigged with some contraption. But how it works, I just don't know.
Well, his directions are a bit... useless.
Have you seen that pit, that gaping hole in the earth? I don't know what it's like down below, but I wouldn't suggest trying to find out. Besides, you'll never make it down there. Not without a ladder of some sort. The flame you see there is a bonfire. They exist all across the land, beacons to we undead. If you are tired, try resting beside the flame. The flame heals us. Long ago, a woman called a firekeeper watched over each bonfire. She kept the flame lit and guarded it from those who would extinguish it. I wonder where the firekeepers went.
Well, I just meet them last episode.
Did you notice any letters on the ground on the way here?
No.
These are messages that have jumped the fissures between worlds. In Drang Lake, the flow of time is convoluted. Things shift and waver, twist and turn. Poignant wishes, dashed dreams, the messages convey our very inner thoughts. If your will to soldier on falters, try moving a message. Somebody out there is sure to listen.
Is there more?
You may notice symbols that appear upon the... These are summon signatures. They call upon spirits from other worlds through the schisms in time. If you fear hollows, find summon signatures to call upon spirits. There'll be...
Okay, enough of that.
Peace on your journey.
He is a glorified tutorial. He's a glorified multiplayer tutorial, and he basically taught us the way, or a possible progression path that we can take, because right now we have technically 3 options where to go. The one that he first described was the way to the Forest of Giants, right? And it's this way here. It's kind of hidden, a little bit hidden, because this doesn't feel like a path to a forest. That is over there, by the way. This is the fort that he was talking about. And we can see a lot of locations, if not almost all locations from here. And they're completely out of touch with reality. They look further away than they really are. Here we have the Forest of Fallen Giants is right there, then the fort over there. We have Heights Tower of Flame, what he was talking about is the second area. We can see it from here, and it's this stuff in the water over there. Why it exists only in water, who knows? Whose idea was it to build it there? Kind of stupid. How did they even build it there? But it looks very far away. Then what else do we have? There's Drangleic Castle in the far distance. Can we see Huntsman's corpse from here? Maybe this part over there. Maybe, maybe not. Like, the world looks much bigger than it really is. But we only have 2 ways right now, 2 ways we can go. Fallen Giants or Heights Tower of Flame. If we try and jump down the pit that is over there, we won't succeed. This will kill us. It's too deep down. Fall damage is not as nice in this game. This hole over here. If you're wondering, like, what I just did there, let me equip a weapon here. Like, you've seen me two-hand my weapon and then block with it. I did this with a purpose, because look how my character's walking right now with the shoulders at... Look at the shoulders right now. Now I attack with my weapon in my left hand. Is it not how it works? Yeah, my character is now walking a bit differently. Like, it feels like the right shoulder is a bit more forward. Or is that just my imagination? No, the left one is a bit more forward. That's something with that movement here. Might be just my imagination, but I'm not here to talk about that. Sorry about that. So let's talk a bit more. Well, first of all, let's talk to all NPCs we can find here. There are 3 more NPCs. One of them is this very green blacksmith over here.
Who are you? Oh, it doesn't matter. Just help me open this door. I packed my tools in here, seeing it was vacant. But now somebody's gone and locked the door. I'm a blacksmith. I'm nothing without my tools. Bring me that key. Chop chop. I'm a blacksmith. Bring me that key.
Not very talkative, but to be honest, first of all, the door doesn't look very secure. You can probably just kick it down. And then, to be honest, you can probably just kick down every other wall of this building. And why are you just climbing in through the... like, through the windows, or the big ass cracks that are all over the place? Maybe climb in from the roof. It doesn't look that hard to climb up here. Grab a few boxes, and then stand on these boxes, jump in, and voila. And then if you want to smith tools for someone, they go to a window and you can give it to them like this. So there are a few more things like this in this game where it's like there's just a piece of rubble in your way and you could just easily walk over it or climb over it, but you can't because it's a video game and our character is not able to climb. And these are small things that break the immersion for me. Like these small, why not just climbing through the window or something? Like these small things. Like I think if you're building your world, and there is currently, or I've noticed talk currently about a certain MMO that might or might not exist, might be a cash grab, like, or a possibly failed attempt at an MMO, similar to, was it called The Day Before or something, where they're just using assets that they bought from a store. Right, you have your, was it Unreal Engine something? When you're building an Unreal Engine, you can buy already made assets. For example, a tent, right? Someone else made a tent. You can just buy that asset and place it in your game, right? Or a building or something like this. And well, it can be helpful, right? You're buying a bunch of assets. It improves. And it speeds up the development of the game because you don't need to create assets on your own, like, because creating assets takes time, right? And just buying assets and place them in a world takes less time. It still takes time, but it takes less time. But the problem with already existing assets is that you're not really building your own world. It's not really cohesive. Of course, the styles can be different, like from asset to asset. You need to be careful that it's a similar style. But I also think everything that you place in your world should serve a purpose or should feel natural, right? If you have a rock formation, that rock formation, if it's a natural rock formation, should look natural, right? If you have a bunch of boxes and barrels like here, they should serve a purpose. I don't really see a purpose here because that's just full of boxes and crates and barrels, and then there are these statues which might or might not have a purpose. They're probably having a purpose. But then there are things like, you need to bring me this key, which is a typical video game trope, right? So retrieve X items so that X NPC can help you, right? Or you're getting your first reward, go and kill 8 boars. These nonsensical quests that you need to do in order to unlock something. And in this case, dude, just climb in through the window. You don't need to open the fucking door, or just kick down the door. Should be possible. Let's talk to another NPC. And who the fuck built this hole? Like, why does this even exist? Quite the big drain channel. But let's talk to this dude over here. And this is interesting. Is he supposed... No, never mind. Let's talk to him first.
Hello there. Welcome to my shop. I'm Morlin, and I sell armor. Oh, sorry, please do have a look at my wares. I could really use the business. If you'd be so kind.
And I'm just noticing we are probably not going to explore very much of the Forest of Giants, whatever. So, generic shop. Here you can buy some pieces of armor, some... This one you can start with as the warrior class, I think. Then the Falconer set, or part of the Falconer set, even without the helmet for some reason. You start with another class, then you have the infantry stuff. Some shields that are... Honestly, where can I see the stats of the shields? Oh, they got rid of the stats, didn't they? Let's see, can I... No, this just toggles this. I need to talk about the UI design of this game as well, because... Should I just do it now, or should I do it in a separate video? I might do it in a separate video, but... It's a big improvement to Dark Souls 1, but it's still not perfect. That's my verdict. My very short verdict. Because right now... Oh no, never mind. I take it back. You can actually see... Sorry about that. You can actually see the stats of the... Of the item here. Which makes it a lot better. I take that back. It probably still can use some improvements here and there, but... It's leagues better than the inventory system of Dark Souls 1. But yeah, what is kind of disappointing is that there is no 100% physical block shield at the beginning here. Because I feel like at least the Silver Eagle kite shield over here should have 100% physical block. And what the heck, even the Twin Dragon Great Shield, but... It's a wooden shield. The Twin Dragon Great Shield is a wooden shield. And From Software, for some reason, likes to give wooden shields lower resistances in general. Or at least not 100 physical.
Well, I do hope I see you again.
Sure, at some point. The interesting part about this NPC is you can kill him, of course, as you can kill every NPC, and grab his armor set. And the armor set has a special effect, which is it increases your soul discovery. I think you're getting more souls with this armor set, if I remember correctly. It's not increasing drop chance of item, if I remember correctly, but the amount of souls you gain. But also, the more souls you give him...
Well, thank you.
Let's buy some stuff. How much souls do I have? Not much. Or not many. Okay.
Thanks very much.
I probably need to obtain some items later on. Even though I don't need a shield, I can just... Let me just equip it, because I like this shield. It's one of my favorite shields, just looks-wise. It's not too big, it's relatively flat, so its profile isn't that pompous and big. And it just looks good. I like the shield, I like round shields. Maybe not too small, but... But yeah, this was house number 2. House number 1 was Lenny Grast, the blacksmith. Here we have Majula. He just told me his name, I've already forgotten it. And then we have this house with a cat inside. A cat.
Oh, undead are we? And one without much time remaining. Just about ready to fall apart, I'd say. Not exactly the time to be chatting with a cat. Well, suit yourself. Oh yes, you may call me Shalqua. Enchanté. So, what did you want anyway? Ooh, you smell wonderful.
Why is there a speaking cat in this game? But yeah, she also acts as a merchant. And of course she has the cat ring, the silver cat ring, which reduces falling damage, which is useful if you want to go down into that hole. I guess I could also... I wonder if I can survive the fall, because fall damage is... like the damage calculation is a bit odd in this game. The less weight you're carrying with you, the less damage you take. So if you strip your character completely naked, that you're running around with 0 encumbrance, then you take less damage than if you had like 10 encumbrance or 20 or 100, whatever. But the lighter you are, the less damage you take. And a few other rings. And one of them is the name engraved ring, which is also an interesting ring, because this is your co-op ring. In this game you don't have a password system. That just came with Dark Souls 3. They weren't as far developed back then. I just assume, or maybe it wasn't in their vision, but eventually they caved in and they gave us password co-op. But had Bloodborne password co-op? Yeah, they had, right? So Bloodborne was their first game with that system, I think, maybe. But how this ring works is when you put on the ring, a menu opens where you can select a deity, a in-game deity that you might or might not have heard of. And it doesn't matter which one you pick. You pick one deity, and if you put down your summon sign, or you're searching for summon signs, you can only see summon signs from a person that is also wearing the name engraved ring with the same deity selected. So this is their way of enabling co-op. Then we have the Ring of Whispers, which is also a... honestly, it's almost useless. When you wear this ring, as it says right here in the description, can hear the voices of foes, which is somewhat correct. You're hearing a very strange sound effect occasionally when there are enemies nearby. I don't know the range, but that might not be the best use of this ring, because this ring enables you to speak to one specific NPC in the game, if I remember correctly, only one. So yeah, quite the useless ring. Then we have the Red Eye ring, which is quite useful, to be honest, because it says it here easier to be detected by enemies. I don't know if it actually increases their aggro radius, but that's not what it's supposed to do. You're building more threat, so to speak. Like, the enemies are more likely to attack you than someone without the ring equipped. It's not foolproof. The enemies still sometimes attack the other person, but this is basically your taunt ring, so to speak. And then the Ring of the Evil Eye. We already had this one in Dark Souls 1, which is just you killed something, you're getting back some HP, which is quite useful. What else is she selling? She is selling Homeward Bones, but only 10. Prism Stones, but only 10. Alluring Skulls, only 10. Lloyd's Talisman. Wow. And then you can also abandon your covenant, and shows your devotion, your rank in the covenant. how far you've progressed them, and you can also get rid of them. Even though this feels quite useless, because you can easily get rid of a covenant by just joining another covenant. But here you also have the option to just abandon your current covenant so that you have no covenant active. Why the hell you wanted to do that, who knows, but it's an option. I think I'm skipping the dialogue with her. It's
Nothing
a bit
suited you, I presume?
true.
Well, that's dismaying.
Why do you need to laugh? Still weird, why do we have a speaking cat here? Technically we had a speaking cat in Dark Souls 1 in form of Alvina, I think she's called, but that's not quite the same thing here. That's literally a cat. Alvina was not really a cat, maybe a mutated cat or Dark Souls version of a cat, whatever. And we have environment that the player can interact with. Interactable environment over here. We have a stone tied to a rope, and the rope is tied to something in the well. And if we... parry doesn't work, sad. If we hit the stone... Ooh, quite the grim sight. A hanged corpse. With an Estus flask shard. So we can improve our Estus flask. And we're hearing some weird sounds here. We have very small piggies here. Very, very small piggies. They're quite hard to hit with certain weaponry. Maybe not a longsword, but they're quite hard to hit, and they deal a surprising amount of damage, and they, if you're still running around with your weapon plus 0, which you are at the beginning, they take quite a lot of damage. They definitely look like enemies that use the old movement. What does that even mean, all of the enemies use the old movement? I will talk about that in another episode when we have actually summons, but for player characters there is an old movement system and a new movement system. The new one is obviously the one that we use right here, and the old one was... I can't remember what video that was that I've seen when this game wasn't released yet, like where they... I've just recently looked up a video where they showed, or where there was a closed beta or open beta, whatever, or a network test, but there they already had the new movement system. But I'm remembering some sort of video where they showcased the game in Huntsman's Corps with the old movement system, where it looked very, very different from the system that we have right now. But I'm going to talk about that later on. So this is almost it. I can't open this door right now. We need a key for that, and we certainly are not able to climb through these windows. As you can see, they're in arm's reach, and but we are unable. We are able to kill almost, or we are able to kill beings of immense power, but we can't climb through a window. At least board them up or something, I don't know. What else do we have? Right, there is another covenant that we can acquire. We pick up this, just a life gem over here, some healing to start out with. You're exploring this area, which you should. There's another item that I haven't picked up, and there is yet another item over here that I haven't picked up. Homeward bone, always useful. And then we have this. This stone with some ivy or whatever plant that is, and I don't know if this is supposed to be wood. Looks like wood. Wood growing on stone in a very weird shape. But this is the Victor's Stone, and here we can enter the... a difficulty covenant, so to speak. When you join this covenant, I don't know the exact stats, but I think enemies are a bit stronger in your world. You can no longer summon help. And maybe in certain areas you're occasionally being invaded, but I'm not sure about this. It's doing something. But the cool thing is when you grow in ranks, I think you're getting, is it a ring? I think you're getting a ring which allows you to be able to box with bare hands, which is very cool. I think they've nerfed it at some point. I think they've nerfed the speed of the attacks, which is a bit sad, but it was very good. Like the ring was extremely strong. Was it a ring? I think it was a ring. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but maybe I'm going to cheat it in after this one. But we're almost done with Majula. There's certainly a few NPCs that will join us in due time when we encounter them in the overworld. Somewhere over here there is another item. No, not over here. That tree. No? Oh? Where the fuck is the item? Or am I misremembering stuff? Oh, it's over here. Okay. Okay, it's over here. 3 more life gems and a sword to boot. Okay. Interesting, interesting. I still have a bit time, so why not just visit the beginning of the Forest of Fallen Giants up to a certain point, because this is how they transition. First of all, as you can see, the light is dropping immensely. And then it comes back a little bit. And I'm a bit sad that I don't have shadows like this in the game. Let's see. Now I have a shadow. Now I don't. Now I do have a shadow. Is it due to the torch? No, it's the sun. The sun is casting the shadow. Which is nice, we have a shadow in game, but now all of a sudden the shadow is gone. Or is it? No, it is certainly gone, yeah. Unlucky. And this way over here is, it's a very strange, very strange path. We have a look at it. I haven't really talked about the architecture here, but it's a strange looking place, really. We have buildings, we have tents, and we have ruins. So I wonder how this place looked once. Because what is this supposed to be? Is this something like, is it just a gateway? Was there a gate, or was it just for the looks? Maybe? Where did this wall go? Did it stop somewhere? If it goes any further, you can no longer go in there, whatever this is. Like, I'm wondering, what even is this? Like, what is this path? What is this supposed to be? Is this for water to flow through here? Maybe, probably not. Makes no sense. Rusted coin in here, and remember, we are currently walking into the earth from here. When we're walking, I want you to notice where we're walking at, in which direction, because over there we have things betwixt, right? over there is another path that we will go in sometime. I could go there right now, but I'm not going to, because that's not the natural progression path. Like, we should be somewhere underneath that, right? Then there is a gate here, leading into pitch darkness, like it's pitch black in there. Then there is another gate, like a gate beside a gate. And there's a wall here. What is this room supposed to be? Then we have a lever here that you can pull at, and with a magical mechanism, this gate will lift up. And it's almost a straight path, right? We're just going into the earth here, like into the earth. We are underground. We are supposed to be underground. We hear water. The gate closes behind us. Like, the wall is currently the way ahead. Still the way ahead. Where's this hole? Like, I didn't see this from up there. This place looks actually quite nice. It's a bit loud in here. And then we're in the Forest of Fallen Giants. Over there now, fairly close. You can see it, right? Through the tree. Through the leaves, we can see Drangleic Castles all of the sun over there. It should have been over there somewhere. Somewhere in this direction. And over here, very close, if not like very close to us, should be the other path. It's a clusterfuck. This game is a clusterfuck. But this is just what I wanted to show you, that this is one example where the world makes no sense at all. And I'm just going back to show you the other path, because I haven't shown it to you yet. I haven't revealed that path yet. Can't even roll underneath. But yeah, the world design itself is a bit of a clusterfuck. Like, what the fuck is that walkway? What even is this? Welcome back to Majula. Even at least Majula looks nice, but we are underground, and then where's the hole in the? Like, there was a hole in the ceiling. Why don't I hear water? Shouldn't I hear the water? Is it a bit further this way? Shouldn't I hear water at some point? Is it the wind that we are hearing, or is it water? Like, I haven't seen this before, this place. And where's the Forest of Fallen Giants? Should be right over here, right? I haven't seen this building part over here. It should be right there. It's, or maybe underneath us already. Who knows? But yeah, the design itself makes no sense, and they don't even try to hide it. This is one of the many things that I dislike about the game. I feel the gameplay is fine. I have no big problems with the gameplay itself, but just the world design is just a mess. But yeah, this was Majula, or this is still Majula. The hub area, which fills at some point. I'm definitely going to talk about the different NPCs that we have in here when we get a few more NPCs in this small hub area. And yeah, look. The Drangleic Castle is again very far away and not in this direction at all. and just weird. But yeah, this was Majula. I hope you had fun. I'm pretty sure that I first need to get into analyzing these areas, because right now I feel like I'm talking about a few things here and there that you might need to be careful when you're designing your own world or you're designing your own game, whatever, and which aspects you need to be careful, because you don't want to you don't want this to happen here. Catch me the keys so I can get to my tools that I certainly can't reach from here. Why can't I just climb over there? I don't get it. Like, things like these, I like to point them out a lot. For example. But yeah, I'm pretty sure with time comes more analyzing, so to speak. I need to get into my rhythm here again. But yeah, hope you had fun. I certainly had. And I see you in the next episode. Goodbye.